See, it's the silence in between the bars that really hold the lion. Not the bars. It's the silence. It's the space in between the cage that makes it a cage. If all you had was steel all around, we'd suffocate. Not be able to hold what it is that God has placed within us. It's the silence in between the pain that gives the mother the strength for the next push. If all you had was pain and no silence, you'll never be able to recuperate in between your storms and in between your trials to get a refreshing to push again. Somebody shout, push! It's the silent times that strengthen us for God's next surgical procedure. It's those silent moments of consecration and prayer that makes us ready for what God has got to do next. And see, just because God isn't saying anything does not mean that God is not doing anything. Oh, come on, somebody. Just because we cannot see the workings of God, the handiwork of God, the dealings of God, because God doesn't tell you every step in your process, does not mean that he's not working. See, that's when your faith has to kick in. That is the true test of your relationship, the trying of your faith. Worketh patience. Let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfectly developed and entire, wanting nothing, missing out on nothing, lacking nothing. We lack too much in the body of Christ, being considered the sons and daughters of God. My Bible tells me that my Father, Christ, the Son of the living God, when he entered into his process, according to the 4th chapter of St. Luke, he went in full of the Spirit. We go into our processes lacking, fickle, more pathetic than we are prophetic. Wanting everybody else to give us a word, needing to hear from everybody else. You insult the deity of God. Every time he enters you into a process, every time he enters you into a storm or a wilderness for your making, and you go and consult with a man, a finite being, concerning the infinite process of God, right there it stops. God says, when you can enter into my process and not consult anybody but me, you're ready. Because you will undermine the authority of God. You will undermine the validity of what God is doing by consulting with a man God's process. God doesn't have to speak. And because you can't see what God is doing, doesn't mean that God's not doing anything. See, by the time God, I've never seen a baby grow outside of the womb. I've never seen a mother that is pregnant and the fetus is growing outside of the womb. See, God has the baby protected from contamination, from germs, from infections, by allowing it to grow inside out. So what are you talking about? The process of God, 9 times out of 10, by the time God has it developed in you, he's already done. He allows the beginning stages, the origin of your process, the origin of your gift and your ministry. He allows it to be inconspicuous for a time so that even you can't touch it. So that even you can't contaminate it. So that even you can't go to somebody else and have the audacity to ask them, do you think this is of God in me? Don't you know? It's just like a woman asking her husband, do you think this is your baby? Don't you know into intimacy with? Was it God or was it the devil? So when God's seed is in us, by the time it's exposed, it's already done. By the time a mother in the natural knows that she's pregnant, the heart is already beating. The brain is already functioning. All that has to take place now is the final enhancement.